enjoyed playing DDR over there. Because there'd be all these random college kids, and I could be like, hey, check out my dancing skills.
Did you ever use the bar when you were dancing?
You have to.
You have to.
It's what the pros do.
That's when you do, when you know you go pro, when you're like...
Did you ever use both pads at the same time?
Yeah, I was that asshole.
Were you really? That's pathetic.
I hate you.
That's pathetic.
Freestyling.
I didn't do DDR out in the arcades. I did it at home. I had the, I had the pad that I had to keep on taking back.
The soft pad.
Yes.
You're the guy on the flaccid pad.
Is that what they call it? The flaccid pad?
I think.
What was that DDR movie that came out? FP?
Dude, that movie's so awesome.
Have you seen it yet?
Yes.
I need to see it.
He bought it. I'm pretty sure he bought it.
I did.
Blu-ray? Yeah.
No, digital copy.
Okay. Oh.
I bought it on the PSN network because it came out a month early over there.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Now I can watch it on the go on my Vita, and I can watch it on my console.
Ooh, wow, that works into this episode. That is awesome. Segue.
And you slowly turn. Hi, everybody.
That's a good segue.
He knows.
Hey everybody, welcome back to That's Alt, the show that brings gamers on the go together to talk about all things geek. I'm your host, Jordan Wade. This week we're going to discuss the state of the portable gaming industry and our personal feelings on it. With me this week I have Brian McBalls. How you doing?
Solid and strong.
Good. That is solid.
Howdy ho.
Misfit girl Christina.
Hello.
And of course the man of 1,000 names, JD Jernell S3 Prototype.
That's me.
Human
All of
Torch.
them.
That's
And
only
Human
3.
Torch.
And the Human Torch.
Well, let's jump in here and talk about portable gaming devices, because that's, at least to me, it seems to be an area of debate. Because I mean, not just between the different companies, Nintendo and Sony, but also now with the rise of portable gaming on iPhone and iOS and Android and stuff like that. Jernell, I'm going to start with you. What's your personal device of choice, and why do you prefer that experience over everything else?
Well, I think I'm gonna go with the PS Vita on this.
Okay.
I started off on the PSP because I had that console, and I've owned the DS before, and I wasn't really satisfied with the games that they had on there. Wasn't a big RPG nerd. I wasn't into a lot of Nintendo games altogether. And I think our PSP poised me for a lot of the console games that I wanted, but I needed on the go. Games like Peace Walker and DJ Max, Metal Slug, the games that were on there, they were perfect for just the PSP. And now with the PS Vita, it's a little bit more integrated with my PS3 that I could do a little bit more things on there. Mm-hmm. I could watch, I buy movies on the PSN, I could watch it on my Vita, I could download straight from the PlayStation Network onto my Vita, as well as do Skype, Netflix, and stuff like that. Versus just a phone or something like that. Sometimes, I don't want to use my phone for everything. You can't really get console gaming right on just a touchpad. Sometimes you need those hard buttons. Sometimes, you need to see the full screen of what's going on.
Right.
And you can't really get that with an iPhone. Well, at least in my opinion, you can't really get that with an iPhone or my Android phone.
Right, and the integration of the PS3 into the PS Vita is a big selling point. I do agree. That is the most interesting factor about the Vita, and also the fact that you can take a save from one game and carry it on the go with you. We see with Sly Cooper, you see with MLB The Show, and a slew of other games. And Sony's done a great job of being able to do that. And I think that's probably the strongest point, in my opinion, of what the Vita can offer. Christina, what is your personal device of choice, and why is that a better experience than anything else?
I'm going to go with the Nintendo 3DS. Of course, I'm a big RPG player, and there's a lot of games that have come out that Nintendo has done strictly for the 3DS that I don't think will ever be ported to the iOS or Android market. So, of course, I play it mostly for the games. But like Jernell, I enjoy having buttons, and I enjoy the stylus. I don't like having to use my fingers because I'm a female and I have long nails.
Okay.
It's kind of a pain in the butt to, try and do all the touchscreen stuff. So if I have a stylus, that kind of...
I suppose that's understandable.
Right, it helps me out. So I I really enjoy the graphics capabilities of the 3DS as well. Compared to every other Game Boy in previous years, it's actually packing a punch now.
Right.
It's not quite as comparable to the Vita, but it's still definitely up there. And I enjoy having the 2 screens as well. That's something different, something that hasn't been out on iPhones. Obviously, you can't have,
or even the Vita for that matter, right?
Right.
Outside of using it with a PS3 or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you might have a map on the bottom and then you're playing the game up top, and you can have different menus and things like that. So that's interesting. And then the 3D aspect of it, for me, I don't play it all the time because it does kind of give me a little headache. You have to look at it at just the perfect angle. But I think they're going somewhere with it. So I do see a future with it.
And it's there if you want to use it, and it does add a little bit of the different dimension.
Right,
no
exactly.
pun intended for gaming. So,
Right.
Brian, what's your device of choice, and why is that better than you think than other gaming experiences?
If you look at it as like a spectrum, there's just full mobile and there's home, console. I would probably fall somewhere in the middle because in my daily life, I can't find anywhere to fit carrying a DS or a Vita around with me. If I'm driving to work, I can't play while driving. Obviously,
Goodness, I would hope not.
YOLO.
Yeah, right. I don't need that added handicap.
Right.
So, but
Have you tried it drunk while playing while driving?
we'll talk about that another time.
Right.
But I like that I could bring my iPhone around, and it's my phone, my music player, my media. I can watch movies, blah blah blah. I can play games on it. Although the library isn't as robust, I don't find myself portable gaming often. I just don't have the time in my life to do so. I'm either commuting, I'm at work, and I can't play it. Well, if I can, I pull up my iPhone and I'll play it for a little bit. But that's the thing; it's covert. I can bring an iPhone to work. No one's going to ask me questions. But if they see a grown ass man playing a Vita in the corner, that's not going to be good for my job. Yeah.
Brian, what are you doing?
So yeah. What's up, man? Yeah. So
Too big to be a phone.
but yeah, no. I mean,
It's an iPhone 7.
so for now I'm iPhone, and with the library expanding, I can play Final Fantasies on my iPhone, and there's Capcom's released a lot of little mobile games, so
Yeah, like Street Fighter 4 is on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Quite jealous of Turning Outlaw. Was it Phoenix Wright?
Phoenix Wright.
Oh, is that?
That's on your iPhone, and
I didn't even notice that.
I can't even play it without getting a DS.
Yeah.
Megaman II. I got to play Sonic.
Wait, those are on there now?
Yeah,
God, I haven't even looked at
I went to Starbucks the other day. I got a coffee, and they had a card that said, "Hey, free download of Sonic 4 for your iPhone." I'm like,
Why not? It's free.
yeah,
Free's
it's free.
free.
Why not?
I'm always up for free.
I can afford that.
I can afford that.
I can afford free. For me, I'll be honest. I did grow up playing portable gaming. I mean, some of my greatest gaming experiences were shockingly on the Game Gear, even though I was constantly having to reload batteries on it, and because that thing lasts 2 hours before it die on you.
Plugged
So
into the
you
wall.
boosted Duracell's stock pretty.
Right, yeah. I mean, for that period of time, once I owned that Game Gear, Duracell's like, we're doing well right now. Jordan Wade has a Game Gear. But, and I went through Game Boy Color, I went through Game Boy Advance, DS, and I really enjoyed those. But I find that in my adulthood, like you said, it's hard for me to find situations where I can play that, especially in a working environment, or if I'm sitting waiting somewhere, I have my iPhone on me, so I'll just pop up and I'll play chess, or play poker, or I'll play blackjack, or a home run game or something like that. And these are either cheap or free, and that's why I enjoy gaming on my iPhone. Now that you've said, both of you brought up valid points. Vita is an attractive gaming system to me because of the cross features, and they're like, I play MLB The Show religiously, and it would be neat to be able to play the show while I'm on the go. That would be awesome for me. Or a 3DS. I do love Nintendo franchises. I love Mario. I love all that stuff. And there's been times when I wanted to buy the 3DS just so I could play those games. But at the end of the day, I have a strong iPhone that can play some decent looking games, and I don't really want to go out and spend that money because I don't really have that many situations.
It sounds like it's a lifestyle difference altogether.
And maybe that's a valid question to bring up as well. Is the lifestyle dictate your gaming. I mean, obviously, the lifestyle dictates your gaming habits. So, I mean, for me, an iPhone's fine, but for you want to have more of a console experience or a worthwhile experience while you're playing.
Yeah, I have a commute, a good 30, 40-minute commute on the bus, or if I'm flying out somewhere, I'll have 5 hours. My phone will last, but it's not going to last 5 hours.
Yeah, you don't want to drain that battery life.
Exactly. So, I mean, and also having the console right there in my hands, ready to go, it's great. I'm playing Persona 4 Golden right now. I'm 80 hours in. God knows how many times I'm going to be recharging my phone just to get that much.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
And what's nice about, with just being RPGs, let alone that I don't play much, this one I'm addicted to. I could pick it up, play it for a little bit. All right, I'm getting kind of sleepy with this dungeon. I could just turn it off, go to sleep, and come back to it later and pick up where I started from. Well, you can't really get that with your regular console. You have to turn off your TV, save, and all that other stuff. With I'm guessing you could do that with your iPhone, but I mean, your iPhone games aren't as robust as PlayStation Vita or
This is true.
or DS games altogether.
Right.
They can be. The Final Fantasy ports are the DS ports pretty much.
Right.
And they have the quick save features. If I get a call, it's it's not going to lose my progress. I'll still go back to the battle, kicking ass, whatever.
Right.
But
It's not like dial-up where it hangs up on you.
yeah, no, I mean,
Damn it, I didn't save.
I'm sure if you have an old iPhone, you're probably scred. Like if you have a Gen 2,
Well, why would you have an
3G
old iPhone?
or whatever. Well, I'm just saying, if you do, you're fine.
Hey, some people out there might have it.
Yeah,
Jerk.
But if you don't have a 4S or a 5, I mean, you're probably gonna have some performance issues. But
It almost sounds like that the generations of iPhones are consoles themselves.
Yeah.
Comparably to like the PSP to the PS Vita is like an iPhone 2 to an iPhone 5. There's going to be graphical differences. There's going to be huge limitations left and right, and you still need, as a gamer or as a person that consumes entertainment altogether, you kind of need that. That's why I still think it's still relevant in this time, whether it be on your phone or on your portable. It still works. There's still a demographic. There's still people that are going to buy it.
Yeah.
I'll admit, I've always been kind of agitated at the library of the DS and the PS Vita, just because I don't have the time to allocate to a portable console. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'm either covertly playing at work, or I'm at home and I'm playing on my 50-inch TV, whatever.
Right.
So I don't see the need to go home and play on a portable. But they release games on these portables that are exclusives, like the Final Fantasy DS games.
Right.
And there's other RPGs and stuff I would like to play. So I would almost wish that, I don't know, I see a lot of potential with the iOS and Android gaming. And even if they would release, I'm not a fan of playing on the touchpad per se, but I get by. But if they release components or peripherals that make a little controller.
Oh, they're out there. And
Yeah,
all.
they're
It's
already
just,
you can add the joystick on there for the little games
it
that are
just looks
simple,
weird
but-
when you're holding an Xbox 360 controller and your screen's right there. You're like,
Right.
Oh yeah. But
that 50-inch turns this big when you get it this close.
Right.
But I mean, I think we've just scratched the surface on what those kind of platforms are capable of. So I mean, and I would say that we need both. I would think, because you're right. There are two different lifestyles. If I was back in high school on the school bus, I'd love having a DS or PS Vita. Or if I got a job that required me to sit on a plane 90 hours, it.
Well, that brings up a question. Handheld gaming does seem to skew toward a younger demographic, just obviously because they have the time to play it. Do you feel that these handheld systems are marketed in that way, or do you feel as adults because obviously you are enjoying the platforms you're having, but do you feel like you're getting, do you feel like stuff is being marketed towards you as well as opposed to just children?
I could go two ways about that, because PlayStation Vita is actually, there's a lot of games at Spectrum all over for it. I mean, you could go from Sly Cooper being a kid's game to playing there's Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 HD collections on there. They're geared a little bit differently. So
right.
You're going for your older generations, which would be me, and then they have a library that fits both of it. The DS is the same way. People are still nostalgic with a lot of the Super Nintendo games that hold on to it, and like it, whether it's on the go for like playing Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics. You know, it'd be great to play it on the go all the time on a console.
And Christina, what about you? Do you feel like Nintendo's obviously had a long track record of being a family-oriented marketing, so I guess the question's a little defeatist in a way, but do you feel like adults are being marketed to at the 3DS?
I mean, not nearly as much as like the Vita. You know, they're adding cameras to everything now. They're adding internet capabilities. They're trying to make it as much like a phone as possible.
Right, without it actually being able to call.
Right, exactly. So in that aspect, sure. But most of the games are still Nintendo games. They're always going to be either family-oriented or trying to go to a younger audience. So,
but is that what you're looking for on your handheld device? I mean, is that what you're wanting to play?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, I mostly play JRPGs. So
fair enough. Yeah.
For me, that's why I still play it. And for whatever reason, they just stick to Nintendo because they're, I guess, loyal. But
right.
That's the only reason I play it more than anything else is, you know, like the Final Fantasy little side games you can play. Like they have a music game called Theater Rhythm. And of course, me and Janelle are music game lovers.
Okay.
So I immediately bought that. That was like the first 3DS game I got. And it was wonderful. I loved it. Had a ton of fun with it. But they'll probably never release it for anything else. And it actually, you know, uses the touchscreen capabilities and everything like that. And the 3D looks cool. So games like that I enjoy. But I don't think it's marketed to an adult audience as much as it could be, for sure.
Brian, do you have anything you want to add to that? Or...
and I guess that's the thing I would say is, you guys ever have any experiences where you're in public or you're at your job or wherever you play? Where do you play these most, and who comes up and what are the reactions when they see you doing this? Like,
you know, I got downtime on the weekends. I'll play at the coffee shop, you know, just to get out of the house, just to consume the day a little bit, but still continue on my gaming. I'll play at the coffee shop, or if I know I have a buddy of mine, like the Only Tigger, we play PS Vita on there every once in a while. You know, if I know he has that console, I'll come over to his place and chill with him playing Vita. If I'm traveling somewhere, be it the airport or on the bus, so like I said, I have a little bit of downtime to plug into it, rather than just watching it on my phone.
Last round was great.
Ah, you're a Naruto? The thing she's into. That heavenly sword is poorly named.
I'm going to go into the final question I really have for all of us, and that do you think that portable gaming has a viable future to be separated from just having a dedicated gaming device and your phone? Do you think there's a long-term future for both of those? I'm just going to go down the line. I'm going to start with you, Janelle. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, the way these new consoles are coming out with huge dual-screen integrations, with the Wii U working with two screens, with the PS Vita working side by side, you could either stream it on the Vita itself, or like Sly Cooper, you could actually interact with it in game. Mm. You know, I still think there's a huge future for it altogether. Whether it be your new controller as for your new home console, or it's going to be a platform that stands on its own as a console, a handheld console. I still think there's a future, as long as they make games for that system rather than make games to work on all systems.
Right.
Fair enough. Christina, what do you think?
I think that in the near future, yes, there's going to be more gaming on, you know, iOS and Android phones.
Right.
I don't think it'll ever compare to, you know, the PS Vita or the 3DS, like what they have to offer, because I think Nintendo especially is too stubborn to release their titles for anything else.
That is a good point.
You know, they will always have their own thing, and they'll always cater to the family and the kids, because they always have. And usually if you stick with something, they're not going to change. But I do see, just in the past 5 years alone, you know, how far we've come with smartphones and their capabilities. I think that it'll open up a world to more gaming on phones, because you're able to get more graphics capabilities out of it, you know, faster downloading, things like that, more memory on the phone. So I do see in the near future more games going towards that, and it would be smart of developers to do that. But I don't think that portable gaming will ever die. Okay,
well, good points. And Brian?
I would like to see, well, obviously I don't want to see Nintendo or PS fail. I'd like to see those platforms continue on. But what I would like to see is more developers like Square. I want to see more companies treat the iOS and Android markets like Square does, because they've been doing a great job of bringing the classic Final Fantasies to iPhone. I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have Final Fantasy Tactics, which is awesome to have on my phone. And they seemed there's a teaser for 5 to come out.
Yeah.
I mean, so it looks like they're going to release all of them. Well, at least all the 2D ones they can. So I mean, I wish more developers would consider iOS and Android viable platforms. So while we may never get Nintendo iPhone games or Sony iPhone games, it would be nice if the third parties would see them as options. I don't know.
For me, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think that Nintendo will always sort of, as long as they can, make a dedicated gaming console. I mean, handheld gaming console, because that's kind of like their bread and butter now. You know, they do have the home console, the Wii U, but then what they're seem to be most known for is their portable gaming devices. I would think that Sony would probably get out of it eventually, just because I don't see how, because it doesn't seem like Vita sales, or it doesn't seem like too many people have a Vita. But you do bring up a valid point with it being like an extra controller, and it makes you wonder if eventually Sony could branch out into something that Nintendo has done with the Wii U and have the controller be like a portable gaming device.
And they did that with the GameCube and Game Boy Advance. They tried, they dabbled in it, and it never really worked because you need an extra peripheral with it. Not all the games worked with it. But I think Sony's making a bold step altogether. It was like, hey, we got this platform here. You could use it here, or you could use it at home altogether. There's a reason why you could still use our product.
And I think it'll work if it's bundled together. I think they'll have, and I think they'll have some way to do that. But the selfish person in me wants to see Nintendo games released on iOS and stuff like that. I mean, I'd love to see Mario and stuff like that. And I'd pay $10, $15 for those titles. I wouldn't care. They would get my money for that. But the reality is that's not going to happen. They're going to try to push their own gaming device. But we all have our different opinions on portable gaming. I personally am all iOS, and obviously y'all are in different varying degrees of champions of different things. So, but it's a wide, diverse gaming environment for portables. So, well, anyways, we're going to close out. Before we close, I do have an announcement to make. This will be my final, as of the time period, as of the near future. This is my final show to be a part of as I'm moving out to Los Angeles. It is a move that needs to be done, but I will still be acting as editor-in-chief for the website, so I will be posting vlogs and reviews and different things on the website, so I will still be involved, and we'll try to find ways to work myself into some of this stuff, but I have enjoyed my time here, and I thank y'all for tuning in for me, but tune in next time when we discuss some of our favorite childhood cartoons, and as always, thanks for watching That's Old.
You don't have to move.
We're gonna. We need to go buy him a burrito for dinner.
Yes.
And release him in the wild.
Are you leaving my tags on though?
No, we'll leave the tags.
The tracking tags.
We'll make sure we need to know where you are, but
right.
We don't trust you that much.
You guys ever see that video where it was a seal that got cleaned up and had oil all over it, and they scrubbed it down? It was a nice long process, and they released it out in the wild, and it jumps into the water, and as soon as it jumps in, you see a killer whale just go.
No! So that's gonna be me, right?
No, not metaphorically. No.
Okay.
So there's gonna be some large man
whale.
that's gonna attack you in LA, is what he's saying.
You're the whale. When you're in the wild with the whale, you will consume it.
But no, that's sad. I don't ever want to see that video.
That video is so funny because
No!
What?
I love seals. They're my favorite animal.
Don't screw with seals.
They're great to beat. No.